All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. I just wanted to take some time. We wanted to talk about a new program that Ford has through its newfordtech.com in its technician education programs. So up here today we have Matt Bradley, who's our sales and marketing director for Ford Customer Service Division. Paul Menard, driver of the number 21 Earn While You Learn newfordtech.com Ford Fusion. And then two gentlemen who obviously need no introduction, Len and Eddie Wood, owner of the Wood Brothers Racing number 21. So we'll start off with Matt Bradley. Matt, if you can just talk us through some of the programs that we have available through newfordtech.com and what we're looking at this month with the new car paint scheme.
Sure. Well, let me start by saying the technicians are such a critical part of our business. You may not know, but there's 38,000 Ford technicians across our dealer network throughout the United States alone. So they're a big piece of our business and critical, and I and others like to say that technicians are the lifeblood of our business. They're the ones who fix the cars, they're the ones who get the customers back in the cars, and are critical to make sure our customers stay satisfied. So we're doing a lot as it relates to the technician environment and career track, but on a kind of a reward and recognition side, I'll tell you about that in a minute. There's a lot of recognition through NASCAR. And then on the attract and recruit side, we have the new website, which proudly will be on the 21 car this weekend for the first time, and that's newfordtech.com. So can't thank Paul and the Wood Brothers enough for putting that on their car, and we'll have 1 million or so eyeballs on that for the first time this weekend. On the recognition side, we've called this kind of the year of the technician at Ford, and we're intending to recognize them like they should be recognized. So a series of NASCAR events over the past year, we've brought technicians in on race day, 50 or 100 technicians, and Sunday we'll have 50 or 100 technicians here, and we at the Hospitality Village, and we bring them down to the 21 car garage and have an opportunity to meet Paul and the Wood Brothers, and it's a big deal, and these technicians are just so excited to be a part of it. So that's the recognition side of it, just one element of it, but we're certainly using our NASCAR elements and assets, and certainly Paul and the Wood Brothers have been so nice to spend some quality time with these technicians. On the attract and recruit side, we have a lot going on. So it's our intent and purpose to cultivate the 38,000 techs that are with us today, but we also need to attract more technicians and demonstrate how good a career the technical space can be. So we have a number of programs where students can earn money and work as a tech and earn a 2-year degree, all the way down to some quick fast-track programs that allow the techs to get some training and get into kind of the maintenance and light repair space. And those, across the country, we have affiliations with not only community colleges and technical schools, but we're really getting the relationships with the high schools and even the middle schools to show these kids how healthy and lucrative a career in the technical space can be. And it truly is a career path. These technicians can start and just progress from a maintenance and oil change type technician all the way up to a really certified master technician fixing diesel engines. So maybe even someday they can work on, a NASCAR type vehicle, and these guys can talk about that. So again, the technicians are so important to us. They're the lifeblood of our business. We want more to come in, and we certainly want to retain and cultivate our current workforce. But newfordtech.com is the entry point. So anyone that's interested in a career path, any technician or dealership can use that as kind of a workplace and find technicians, and technicians can go on there and post their resume and let dealers know that they're very interested in working for Ford. So with that, again, I thank Paul and the Wood Brothers for putting New Ford Tech on the car, and we're excited for the weekend, and I'll pass it over to the people who you really want to hear from at this point. So thanks for your time.
So Paul, going to you real quick. You fairly new about learning about this program as well. Do you have any initial thoughts on what you think about Ford offering this kind of service?
Yeah, I mean, a couple things come to mind. Obviously, the sheer numbers. What really struck me is just the sheer number of technicians, 38,000, and I heard a number was like you're looking to hire thousands and thousands more in the coming years. I think I heard the number 40,000 people. So huge numbers, and where do you draw from in the we have low unemployment right now. There's it's hard to hire people. So this earn while you learn is a great way to go about that. Just, getting your education, also doing some internships and getting paid for your work. So you learn in the classroom, you learn at the dealership or at the quick lane centers, and just a neat deal. And my history, I'm 37 years old. Worked on my old cars when I was a kid, my own cars when I was a kid. It's hard to change the oil in your truck these days. You open up the hood, you don't know where the oil pan is, you don't know where the oil filter is. These technicians aren't grease monkeys. They're engineers, and they're getting their education for that. So cars are evolved, and this is just a program to help with the evolution of automotive.
So sort of building off of that, over to Len and Eddie, you both grew up sort of working and learning as you went, as you worked on cars growing up. Sort of what Paul said with how cars have become more advanced. Can you sort of talk about how a program like this may have helped back in the day, or sort of the differences of how the similarities and differences between racing and technicians in the real world?
Yeah, I agree with what Paul said. That we all worked on cars, race cars. Well, Lynn and I worked on race cars when we were very young, but we weren't allowed to do anything. We cleaned up, we washed things, we disassembled stuff, but they didn't trust us enough to let us work on the race cars, like do ball joints and things like that. So as we got older, all of a sudden they start trusting you with a little bit at a time. And it took us years to get from sweeping the floor to actually working on a race car. So now with this program, this earn while you learn, it's like puts everything in fast forward to where you get this education really, really quickly. I think it's, the one of them's like a 2-year program, the top one. And if you're doing that, you get a paid internship. Plus, when you get out of college, you go straight to a dealership or a quick lane, or a Lincoln, go to a Lincoln dealership or a Ford dealership or a quick lane. And things like that, just in any other industry, I don't think really happens. And, you take a kid that is going through that, if he's got, notions to work in the racing industry, he's already got a head start over a lot of other people. Because, as you all know, the garage is now full of engineers. 25 years ago, there were 2 engineers in the garage. One of them was Jack Roush, and the other was Brett Bodine. Brett drives a pace car for NASCAR now and was a former driver. But most of the guys that worked on cars, including us, were just guys that had picked it up and had a passion for it. Now, if you've got that passion, there's no limit to where you can go.
Do you have anything to add, Len?
Several years ago when we had carburetors, and when the first fuel injection come, we're going to run fuel injection next year. We wondered, how is this even going to crank? You've got electronic ignition now that we didn't have before. And once got an engineer to help crank the car, then it was like it was no big deal anymore. But there again, you need more educated people to work on race cars as well as street cars.
Excellent. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. We have a few extra minutes here, so if anyone has any questions for anyone up here, we can go ahead and field those at this time. Go ahead to Wolfgang in the back.
Actually, I have 3 questions. Is this okay?
We'll field them as we have time. We'll see how it goes.
They're all from Matt Bradley. You said earlier you have, that was very impressive for me, 38,000 technicians just alone in America. Does Ford have somewhere a training center so that they get the latest update about the latest Ford technology?
Wolfgang, thanks for the question. Yes, we have an affiliation with a number of technical colleges across the U.S., about 38 schools, and we also have Ford training facilities in 11 markets around the country. So the combination of the schools, and we provide the schools hard assets with transmissions or engines or even full cars. to work on. So we have good relationships with the schools to increase our footprint, and we also have our own Ford training centers across the country as well.
The second one is, I think it's still in Mooresville, there is a NASCAR Technical College, or whatever call it, close to the ex-headquarter of Richard Petty, where Petty was based before. Is there a cooperation with Ford and this technical college right now?
Not that I'm aware of, certainly, but as the guy spoke about, I mean, the career advancement of these technicians coming in and out of dealerships, certainly, I think a lot of them would strive to be part of that NASCAR, but I'll ask these guys if there's any affiliation or any pull from that side of the business.
And the third and the last one, is there any exchange of information between Ford technicians in America and in Ford technicians in foreign countries?
Yes, absolutely. The organization at Ford that provides the technicians all the curriculum and the materials is a global organization. So it's called the Service Engineering Organization, and they're responsible for making sure the technical information on fixing a vehicle in the U.S. and that same vehicle may be sold in Germany will be the same technical specifications. So it's of a global nature. Certainly the cars we sell across the world have a lot of the same technology in them, and it's a standardized and consistent repair approach. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you. I'm Roy Akers, Detroit Sports Media. I'm a retired teacher, in and out of broadcasting and that. What I've noticed, pretty much all the districts have gotten rid of their car repair, their shop repair and that. So it sounds like this is a program to help those kids that may not be college material. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but now they have an opportunity to get involved in the business and to get paid while you learn, because that's something that was missing a generation ago. People had to learn the hard way, and now they can actually do something very important. So I think it's more of a comment than a question, unless you have a response.
No, I say you're spot on. That's exactly. It's nice to hear, and thank you for commenting on it. So even kids coming out of high school have this opportunity.
Do we have any other questions? One right back here.
Brian Nelson, Motor Racing Network. If I may, Paul, stray and just ask about your quest to solidify a spot in the playoffs here as we narrow in on the cutoff. And what do you think about Bristol, Darlington, and in the final few races and your opportunity? Where may it be?
Yeah, I mean, we're in a hole right now. We're 60-some points out, points-wise. But I feel really good about these races coming up. I feel like we've even the last couple races, we've had just some things go wrong that we've lost points at. But these are strong races for us. We closed the gap pretty close after Kentucky. Then two bad races put you further back. But I feel good about Bristol. I feel good about Darlington. We did the tire test in Darlington a month or two ago, and felt like we had really good speed, short run and long run. So I was really pleased with that. We just have to swing for the fences a little bit. We're make some strategy calls or some decisions that during the race that might put you in jeopardy for a tore up fender or something like this, staying out on tires or something like that. But it's go time, and it's time to take some risks.
All right. Thank everyone for the time. We will have Matt around here for just for a couple more minutes.